guys, welcome back to Rocket Gyan, my fellow space tubers. And how are you? How are you all? Because today I am very excited because we will be seeing this beautiful rocket on your screen to lift off from Japan today. But unfortunately, right now it is on hold for some reason which we don't know. So whenever the official broadcast will start, we will get to know the reason. So how are you all, guys? Hi Declan. Hi 145 slap, and hi the Russian guy. I don't can't pronounce your name, but hi everyone. So let's just jump into it, and let's get to see what this mission is all about. We don't get to see the launches from Japan very frequently, so this one is launching. And yes, this itself is a unique launch, and I'll tell you why. So let's just jump into it. So right now you are seeing in front of you the rocket which will be launching today. The uh, H-IIA Rocket with a 204 configuration. 204 means you will be having like 4 boosters, which you can see in the image also, and yes, the regular 2-meter fairing. So let's just hi Louis Smith, after so long you are here. How are you? Okay, so let's just see the rocket itself first of all. So for that, there you go. This is the rocket. Hopefully you can see it. Yes. This is the rocket which will be flying today. Let's have a closer look onto it. So first of all, uh, this has like 4 boosters, which you can see here. The 4 solid rocket boosters, and then 1 core stage. So talking about the 4 boosters, these 4 boosters are the solid rocket boosters, which has this HTPB as its fuel. So yeah, that is quite common, solid rocket fuel. And then this is the core stage, which we have in here, which has a single engine, the LE7A engine to be precise, and this runs on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen as its fuel. Okay, so this kind of configuration, is more like the Ariane 5 configuration, but obviously the boosters there are quite large. But here you can see we have one similarity. The core stage is has liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen and has a single engine. Then talking about the second stage, there you go. The second stage is again a liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen stage, which is a LE5B engine, which you can see in front of you. This is the oxygen tank, and then we have a hydrogen tank in there. This is how it looks like. And yeah, this also runs on liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen as well. Okay, so in summary, this is how the rocket looks like. The 4 solid rocket boosters, the one core stage, one second stage, and then the fairing. So this fairing is like the regular fairing they are having, and today they are going for a GTO orbit. So the payload capacity for this configuration is around 6 ton to GTO, which means this is the heaviest operational rocket from China, which is sorry, Japan, which is launching 6 tons to geosynchronous transfer orbit. So this will be launching today. Right now it is on hold. Hopefully the hold will uh, you know go away when the time starts, so we'll have to wait. But yeah, this is the rocket. Now let's move on to its configuration as well as some more details on its engine. So let's just, why was the hold called? Right now we just heard that I'm also trying to get some information on the hold, but I can't get one. As soon as I have, I'll tell you, so don't worry. So now let's just move on to the next thing which we have to see, which is this one. So the configurations which we have. So this H-IIA rocket is very Kerbalish in nature. I mean, you can just strap on some boosters and you can have some other configuration. For today, the rocket which will be launching is this H-IIA 204, which means standard fairing, and four solid rocket boosters, right? The normal solid rocket booster. These are the solid rocket boosters, and these small boosters, which are also solid rocket boosters, are the strap-on boosters. So as you can see, as they want to increase the payload capacity, so they just strap on some more solid rocket boosters and the strap-on booster. So that's why I'm saying it's a very Kerbalish rocket, which means more payload capacity, which means more boosters. So this is how it operates right now. They are working on one heavier rocket, the H-3 rocket, but we will have to wait for that to become operational. Hopefully it will become by end of this year, so let's hope that will happen. So now let's have a look at the core stage engine. So this is the LE7A engine. This runs on liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen as its fuel, and runs on a stage combustion cycle, which means that the fuel which goes into it burns in stages. Okay, so some burns in pre-burner, some burn, and then it goes to combustion chamber, and then finally fully burnt and released onto the uh, uh, from the nozzle. So this is a closed cycle engine, as it is evident. Also, you can't see any gas generator cycle exhaust kind of a thing coming out of the rocket. Everything, the exhaust coming from the pre-burner is fed into the combustion chamber. So the fuel is burnt in stages. Some is burnt in pre-burner, and then the combustion chamber. So the schematic will look like this. Here you can see right now what will happen. The fuel pumps are there, the heat exchanger, the nozzle. Okay, this is like, to keep the combustion chamber and the nozzle cool. So this is regenerative cooling happening here. This is also true for the H-IIA rocket also. So what happens, the fuel flows in here, it goes to pre-burner. The pre-burner has its own fuel line as well as the oxidizer line. They both burn here. Pre-burner burns here, but it is a fuel rich gas which spins the turbine, which in turn spins the turbo pumps, and this gas which is coming into the turbine is then fed into the combustion chamber. So there are two stages in which the fuel is burning here, pre-burner as well as combustion chamber. That's why the stage combustion cycle. Okay, so this is the thing which will be happening in this rocket. Now talking about the second stage engine, this is the second stage engine. This is the LE5B engine. This has a expander cycle. More specifically, expander bleed cycle. So what is the difference between these two? See, there is no as such difference. It's like, you can say, a kind of gas generator cycle, but in expander cycle we will have the heat exchanger also, which means we will have regenerative cooling also. So to have to give you this, should I say, uh, the schema. Here you can see the heat exchanger is there. So in expander cycle, we just have heat exchanger, which is keeping down the temperature of the nozzle, and then it is the fuel lines are fed to the turbine, and then finally everything is burnt in combustion chamber. As you can see, the turbine is just rotated with the help of the fuel, and how it is rotating the turbine, because as you can see, the first of all, the fuel is passed through the heat exchanger, which means the liquid fuel is the phase changes as everything is hot in here. So the phase changes from liquid to gas, and then since the phase changes, so it has higher kinetic energy, and then that higher kinetic energy is used to rotate the turbine, which rotates the turbo pump, and finally the thing becomes stable. And the more specifically for this one, it has an expander bleed cycle. Okay, so what do I mean by expander bleed cycle? Simple thing is that uh, as the name suggests, it's bleeding fuel on its way, which means whenever it goes to the combustion chamber as well as the nozzle, for LE5B engine specifically, there are bleeds in combustion chamber. So whenever it is going on in this combustion chamber, cooling down the combustion chamber, some of the fuel is bled onto the combustion chamber from here only. So that's why it's a combustion bleed cycle. Sorry, the expander bleed cycle. So that's how everything works. Okay, hopefully some rocket science for today. That's enough rocket science for today, right? We'll have some more when the stream becomes available, but right now we are still on hold. We'll see how the things will look like. I'll we have the stream, so don't worry, you will see the rocket how it is looking like on the pad, but right now it is on hold. But let me just tell you that it is the launch window is for 2 hours since it is going to GTO, so no problem with that. Now let's have a look at the satellite itself. So this is the Inmarsat-6 satellite. Okay, so this Inmarsat is a very popular communication satellites. Like you can say when the satellite business for the communication industry started, uh, Inmarsat was one of the few companies which arrived first. So this is a very old company, old and established communication satellite company, and it is launching its satellite today. And this is a UK based communication satellite which is operational since 1970s. And this provide the services for marine and airborne traffic. And talking about the airborne traffic, um, okay, we'll talk about the airborne traffic first of all, but let me just tell you what services it will provide. The telephone calls, low bandwidth communications on the global area network, faster internet access, swift broadband, fleet broadband, a maritime service based, and aeronautical service also based on the swift broadband and fleet broadband, which means Wi-Fi on internet and Wi-Fi on ships, and of that. Okay, this will provide that. And so people living in UK, you can expect some good quality internet in your planes. And talking about, yes, that I was talking about this thing. What was I talking about? The airborne traffic. It is used to monitor the airborne as well as marine traffic, right? The best example for that is this one here. If you remember, there's a very famous flight which went missing, the flight MH370 on March 8, 2014. Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 disappeared during a flight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. And people often say that, why are you investing in space? It is of no use. We should help in things uh, which is happening on Earth. We should do something about that. But this is a best example which you can give in how satellites can help in humans basically. So this satellite mysteriously disappeared. What happened was, here as it lifted off, it was supposed to go to the Beijing here. And after that, what happens was departs Kuala Lumpur for Beijing. Final contact with air traffic control happened here, and then last contact with military radar happened here. So what happened? It suddenly, became mysteriously, I would say, disappeared off the radars. No, last contact with the military radar was at 2:15, going in this direction. But this was the thing which they were able to get from the radar technology. Okay, but this aircraft had an onboard classic aero satellite data unit fitted onto this thing, which continued to function for several more hours. And the Inmarsat was responsible to record the pings between this unit and the Inmarsat satellite, which was over the Indian Ocean region at this point. So the aircraft was pinging the satellite, which means just handshake. You can say that, yeah, I am still alive. Yeah, I am still alive. So it was pinging the satellite, and because of that, they were able to get some location out of it, where the aircraft was going. For 7 hours it was pinging, and the pings were triangulated, and they figured out that this was moving in this straight line. This is a straight line global projection, so that's why it is looking like this straight line in the southern region. And about 7 hours it was pinging, and after that it was not pinging. So people were able to figure out that, yes, it has now disappeared, which means it must have crashed. So this is how the satellites help humans on Earth, which people don't realize. This is the best example of that. Okay, so if you have anything, you can ask me right now. Yes, LE7 uses the open expander cycle. Uh, LE7 uses the um, stage combustion cycle, not the expander cycle. The LE5B uses the expander cycle. Okay, so LE5B is the second stage engine. The LE7 is the first stage engine. So this is the thing. By bleeding some of the hydrogen out into space, it increases the pressure differential, meaning it's easier to get more thrust out of the engine. Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Cool. There's something wrong with the pressure somewhere. Maybe they'll cancel this time. Okay, we'll have a live views of the rocket itself. So let me just switch over to that. Right now, the official live stream haven't started. So we'll have to see. Will look like. Let me just. I'll give you the updates to. Let me just switch over to those cycles. Wait a sec. We will try to figure out something of it. So right now it is on hold. These are the live views of the rocket, and it's 16 minutes. It is saying that it's like 16 minutes left, but that is not the case. We are having some hold here. So let me just see if I can get some information out of. Is there a hold, or will we be doing the day? Yes, still on hold. Don't know the reason, and I think even the fueling haven't been started. So yeah, the hold was actually there at uh, 46 minutes. It's been like 46 minutes since the hold was announced. So we can see even the fueling haven't been started, I guess. Can't see any vents coming out of the rocket. Hopefully, maybe just the blurry vision is not able to see the land vents, but I can't see them, and you must also won't be able to see them. So hopefully the fueling haven't hasn't started. Maybe have to see, but right now it is on the it's on hold. Okay, so we can discuss about something else, or maybe about this rocket only till I find some valid information as what is causing the hold. So the countdown is being held because an event to be confirmed has occurred in the rocket system. The new launch time will be decided, announced as soon as it is decided. Okay. So which means actually there is like they were verifying the data. Check. Yeah. So they say that one of the parameters is not showing the expected data. That's what we know right now. What is that parameter? We don't know actually. So the the countdown is being held. That's all we know right now. Okay, any more information? And okay, tomorrow, guys, we have another launch, and this time it will be from China. And hopefully, let me just tell you that it's a top secret mission. Okay, it's a classified mission, but since it is launching from a launch site which supports fan cams, so hopefully we will be able to have the rare live stream of the Chinese launch, hopefully tomorrow. So do join me for that too. Right now, I can't find anything else here. Cool. If anybody knows anything, so they are welcome to write in the chat. We'll have, we get, it's better to know something, right? Because right now we don't have enough information. Okay, let's just talk about the rocket only. This rocket, as I said, has right now this rocket, which is the H-IIA rocket, is the operational rocket for Japan. Their heavier rocket is in under development, basically the H3 launch vehicle, and you will see that in action hopefully in this year, if everything goes according to the plan. But yeah, that is the case. And for this launch, the H-IIA is launching with its heaviest configuration, which means having the solid rocket booster attached to the core stage. And yes, one more thing which I forgot about this rocket, which I needed to tell you, that since this, for this configuration in which the SRBs are more, the core stage can throttle down from starting, and hence can burn for a little longer. Okay, so since SRBs will be doing most of the work here during the liftoff, since there are four of them, so the core stage can throttle down to its minimum value. Maybe I don't know, to which value it throttles down, but I do know that it throttles down from what it has in the configuration in which it has only two solid rocket boosters. Since it throttles down, it can burn for a little longer, and since it can burn for a little longer, it will burn in vacuum too. And that's why for this configuration, the nozzle for this core stage is quite expanded. That is not the case with the 202 configuration, in which only two SRBs are attached, because those are jettisoned, you know okay, the jettisoning takes place at the same time, but that does not produce enough thrust at liftoff. So therefore the core stage has to up its thrust level, and hence it burns fast. So yeah, for this launch, the nozzle for this core stage is quite expanded, which supports sea level as well as vacuum. It's like the RS-25 engine for the space shuttle. It was supposed to burn in vacuum as well as on the sea level. So what it did was it expanded the nozzle. That was one thing which it did, and after that, when at the end, it just how should I explain it, rather than going sideways, the expansion going sideways, it went straight down. Okay, so this helped the nozzle to not break during the sea level operation when the atmospheric pressure is high. So this is like one thing, one mechanical thing which you can have on the design uh, area, which actually helps you, right? So yeah. Yes, we indeed need more launches from Japan. It may be postponed, but we don't know, so we'll have to wait. Still on hold, supposedly 2 hours 7 minutes until the window closes. Uh, Window actually started. They were aiming at the start of the window only. So yes, you are right. 2 hours 7 minutes until the window closes. But the thing is that they haven't started the fueling yet. And when the hold was announced, it was like it's been 46 minutes. So you can say in um 50 minutes or so, it's been 50 minutes or so since the hold was announced. So according to that, you can minus that 50-minute time from the launch window, I guess. Yeah, so it's like 2 hour remaining, so you can say 1 hour 10 minutes remaining the launch. Still trying to find some valid information which I can't right now, but that don't go on for that countdown. That's a wrong one there. We have like less than 10 minutes from the launch window opening, but still there are no updates from the launch services, the Mitsubishi launch services. Their last tweet was said that the second attitude control flight slew test has been completed. The second attitude control system flight slew test has been completed. That's what we know. After that, they haven't tweeted anything. So they were testing everything, and suddenly there must be some red thing on the checklist, and right now they must be just trying to figure out how to resolve that. Okay. So let's just discuss. Maybe
This is an announcement from the Tanegashima Range Control Center to all launch operators and personnel. ロケット系の確認事項については問題のないことが確認されました。打ち上げ時刻を12月23日午前0時32分00秒に設定し、カウントダウン作業が再開されました。It has been confirmed that there is no problem in the launch vehicle and that we have restarted the countdown operations. The launch time has been rescheduled for 12.
okay, just a sec. Time has been postponed. Yes, I know that.
3200 a.m. on December 23rd. 繰り返します。ロケット系の確認事項については問題のないことが確認されました。打ち上げ時刻を12月23日午前0時32分00秒に設定し、カウントダウン作業が再開されました。It has been confirmed that there is no problem in the launch vehicle and that we have restarted the countdown operations. The launch time has been rescheduled for 12:32:00 a.m. on December 23rd, Japan Standard Time.
It's 12:32 a.m. Japan Standard Time, right? That's what she said. Okay, that's what she.
0時32分ちょうどに打ち上げに変更になりました。
Japan. I'll just talk. So that's a good news, guys. We have the confirmation that everything is good with the rocket and it will be launching today. That's really good. Now let me just update my timer here so that you can have a look at it. So yeah, we are like T minus 1 hour 1 minute till we get the today. So we do have some time now, but that's the announcement uh, assured us that there is nothing wrong with the rocket, so we can expect the launch today. And I am just trying to figure out. Okay, whenever the live stream will come live, I'll just go on switch over to that, the official one. So don't worry about it. So we were talking about, yes, the countdown has been resumed. I have updated my clock here. We are T minus 1 hour, 1 minute from this launch vehicle to go up in space. And with the four solid rocket boosters, and that too in night, the rocket launches when it lifts off in night. I think that is the most coolest thing you can ever have. I mean, people have this, debate going on in them that um, the the daylight launches are good or the night launches are. Personally, I prefer night launches. The beautiful plume and the liftoff, the scenery of the liftoff at the launch pad at night is amazing. And the best thing about night launches is that you can actually track them from the ground also, because you can actually see those beautiful plume coming out of the rocket if the weather is all good. So I don't know about you, so you can just type in the chat maybe. Uh, what do you like, the day launches or the night launches? I personally prefer night launches, which you will be seeing, and that too, this is like a midnight launch, so uh, would be great. Hopefully, we get to see those views from it, right? That would be a thing to watch. Okay, what else do we got here? The update. Nope. I like Declan says I like night launches because you can easily see. Exactly. Yeah, for photographers also, the night launches is like a treat for them. They can actually easily track all the things going. So we do have some time. First of all, write in the chat from where you watching this launch. As in which country, which city, because we get to see the dynamics in the chat, right? And we'll discuss the rocket science also, everything. We'll go into, see, since we have time here, so we'll go into deep, as in how the rocket launches and how does it acquire the orbit. We'll have the discussion on that. Postponed for 1 hour exactly. uh okay, so before that, guys, if you are just new to this channel, let me just tell you that on this channel, you must have already uh, you know, got the hang of what I do by joining in here. On this channel, I do live stream of the launches, as well as I make videos on space and rocket science. And specifically for live streams, I make sure that you have got everything covered before seeing the launch. So before seeing the launch, I personally feel that you should understand the rocket, the satellite, the payload, and everything. So I make sure that you understand that all, and that's why uh, on this channel, for every launch, we live stream every launch. And so if you want to know something specific about a launch, or you want to uh, rather than just seeing a launch, want to have some uh, good information about that, you can come here, because I make sure that I cover that. So everyone is here. So we have people from UK, US, uh, Japan, India. Cool. That is great. Okay. Uh, yes, they have tweeted also. The green light has been given to the terminal countdown operation, and new launch time is 032 JST. Is great. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about how the rocket launches and everything. So first of all, if you have seen the SpaceX launches, the Falcon 9 launches, you let's just go from the starting. Start from the starting. Uh, you must have seen those vents coming out of the rocket, right? Those foggy, smoky clouds around the rocket. That is a thing which happens in rockets which are having the cryogenic fuels in it. For this rocket also, the first stage runs on liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. The second stage also runs on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Personally, my favorite fuel for the upper stage is the hydrolox fuel, which means the liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen, because it burns for a lot of time. I mean, the ISP for the Hydrolox engine is way, way, way above than any other rocket engine right now. So it's a very good upper stage engine, but again, it's not a good uh, first stage engine because of that very reason, the burn time more. When it has, since it has that burn time more, uh, it is burning the you are burning the first stage right up to the edge of the space, which you don't want actually, right? For the Ariane 5 as well as this rocket, the core stage actually burns for a very long time, and almost attaining the orbit, I must say that, which you actually don't want because you are just carrying the dead weight. So that is one drawback with Hydrolox first stage, because it burns for a bit longer, so therefore you don't want it to be the first stage. As well as the hydrolox uh, fuel is like, what should I say, the fuel amount of fuel which you need to carry is more for hydrolox. The tanks are basically stretched. The very reason is, when you balance the equation for hydrogen plus oxygen, which gives you water, H2O. Okay. What did she say? Maybe just an announcement of T minus 55 minutes. Okay, yeah. So I was saying, what was I saying? Yeah, the hydrolox engine. Yes, the stages, the fuel tank is actually stretched because the when you balance the equation H2 plus O2 giving H2O, you get 4H2, right? So what you get 4H2 plus oxygen and then 2H2O. So that means for every 1 liter of oxygen, you need 4 liters of hydrogen. So it's like a very exponential growth. It's good for the second stage wherein the efficiency is more, so you can go with, like, a very small stage also, but not for the first stage where the efficiency is very less because of all the drag, atmospheric drag, the gravity losses and everything. So that is also one of the reasons. So yeah, talking about the vents, I was saying this, the vents come off from the cryogenic rockets. This is also a cryogenic rocket, so you may see those vents coming out of it. And those vents are basically nothing but the hydrogen and oxygen are not in the liquid state, right? It does not exist in liquid state in nature, it exists in gaseous state. So when you compress it very in high pressure and low temperature, you get to have the liquid state of the fuels. And because of that, when you load it into the rocket, since now you are not maintaining that pressure and temperature, so the liquid of liquid fuel, the hydrogen or the oxygen, becomes gaseous instead. So it acquires the energy from the surrounding, basically temperature from the surroundings, and then vaporizes. So because of that, the pressure inside the tank increases, and it's like a, now it has become a pressure cooker. Okay, wherein you have the water, wherein you pour the water and your whatever you are cooking in that, and then you put the lid on, and then you just switch on the stove. Now what happens, the water is boiling and uh, turning itself into a gaseous state. Because of that, the pressure inside that thing increases, and there is a you can say a whistle on the pressure cooker, right? When it blows up, when you hear something out of coming out of the pressure cooker, that sound, that means the the pressure inside the pressure cooker was very excess, and now it has released that pressure, and that's why you get to hear that whistle sound. Same happens here. The pressure, when the pressure inside the fuel tank increases and you don't want your fuel tank to explode, so you have those bleeding wells, which works in a similar way to how the pressure cooker whistle works. Just opens up the that vent from where the excess pressure goes away, and you see those vents coming out of the rocket. So this is how the things work. If I made any sense, please tell me. Okay, so this is one thing which you need to know. After that, there are certain okay, so before the liftoff happens, there are like thousands of checklist which you need to make sure everything works correctly. When rocket launching is a very complex task, and it's very complex because of this chemical rocket thing. uh, I will say that the nuclear rockets are very hard to make, okay, but it is very easier to operate. You don't need to have like these many checklists in that. The chemical rockets, yes, you need to have, because those are like unstable things. But the nuclear core which you are having, they if you have made it stable, then it will remain stable. So that is one thing you need to see. So in future, nuclear rocket propulsion is the future because it has higher mileage, you can say. So it can travel far. So you will see a nuclear rocket in nuclear propulsion in future, and there you will see there the you will not have many checklists. So here you are having some checklist, like thousands of them, and each one of them has to go right. If any one of them is red, just hold on to that moment and try to understand what caused that red light, resolve it, and then move further. That's why you have like countdown here. Like the countdown for many rockets, countdown becomes like T-1 day, where the checklist starts. So every rocket has its own countdown or checklist which they have to follow, and for T-50 minute announcement, I guess. Yeah. So that is the thing. That is how it works. Okay, so now after that, if everything goes right, we have then a no go or no go poll, wherein you get to listen to everything from the E-class, or E-class is not there. The guidance and navigation system, the range coordinator, the mission director, the weather, uh, the electrical systems, the ground support equipments, and all those things are there. I mean, this is a final go or no go poll in which you just hear them that everything is all right, every system is working fine. Okay, after that you are given go for the launch, and the rocket launches. So this is one thing. These are all the things happen which before the rocket launches, and that's why it's a very complex process. Okay, so after the rocket launches, what happens? It just, do you think it just goes straight up and in space, right? Many people think the rocket just goes straight up and then it uh, acquire reaches space and it stays there. But no, it does not work like that. Or if you want to reach space, you just go straight up. If you want to stay in space, you have to go straight up and then sideways really, really fast. Okay. So, and why do we need to go sideways? I'll tell you by giving an example, obviously, right? So Earth is having gravity, right? So there is like gravitational pull. So when something rotates around Earth, that something, is constantly experiencing a gravitational pull, which is like inside, which is like basically uh, pulling it into the Earth, basically, right? But since it is going in around the Earth, it stays there. And let me just give you example how it does it work. So when you have like a string attached to a rock, and then when you spin it, what happens? It if you give a proper speed to that spin, it stays there in that orbit or whatever way you are revolving it, right? And when you lose that speed, what happens? It comes down, right? This is the concept of centripetal or centrifugal force in whichever frame of reference you are working with. So this is a simple physics concept in which when you have force coming in from the center, coming towards the center or away from the center, then you can have a circular motion. Okay. So here in the case of string, what you are having is tension in the string. When you are, rotating very fast, the tension in the string increases, and that's why it is able to stay in that circular spin. The similar thing happens here. When you go very, very fast in and achieve that proper rotation speed of that of a string and a stone, you get to stay in the orbit for the Earth. And for that spin or that speed, for Earth, it is around 17,500 miles per hour or 28,000 kilometers per hour, which is like way faster than bullet, almost 10 times faster than a bullet. So it is very, very fast. Okay. So this is the thing which you need to know, that if you want to go and reach space, then you just go straight up and then you will come down, because the gravity is constantly pulling you, right? You need to have some force which cancels it, right? So when you just go straight up, the gravity pulls you down and then you come down. But when you go straight up and then sideways, the concept of that spring attached to a stone comes into place. And when you have enough speed, then you just stay in space. You are constantly falling around the earth, basically. Okay. So in space also, you are not in people say we are having in space there is zero gravity. I mean, that is, or you can say in space there is no gravity. People say that, right? In space there is no gravity. That is not the right term. Gravity is everywhere. It's just that you are falling around the earth, so you are not feeling any gravity. Okay. And this is a very beautiful concept if you think. I mean, uh, gravity is always there, but you are not feeling it. Why? Because you are falling around it, falling into it. It's like when you are a free fall. When you are in a free fall, then you don't experience any gravitational force, right? In lift also, T minus 45 minutes. So when you are in a free fall, then you don't experience any force, because you are just falling freely on the earth. Uh, and yeah, you don't experience any force. And this is the concept which is very beautiful. Why do I say that? Because when you fall into the gravity, you don't experience any g forces. So can we harvest this concept in our spacecrafts or aircrafts, wherein we can actually harvest this concept in which we need to fall in gravity so that we don't experience any g forces. So this thing, if we can do that, that will be revolutionary, because uh, you can actually achieve any acceleration without feeling any force. Right now, if you will, when astronauts go into space, they experience certain G forces, right? 3 Gs, 2 Gs. NASA has limit of like 3 Gs for the astronaut, and not exceed them. The shuttle, the maximum G forces shuttle used to had was like 3 Gs, which means 3 times the Earth gravity force. Now, if we can have something in which we are always falling towards something, so that means you are always falling towards a gravity, and you are, since you are falling towards a gravity, you are accelerating, you are increasing your speed. But since you are falling towards gravity, you are not experiencing any g forces. And this is a concept of gravity well. If we can create a gravity well ahead of a spacecraft, then which moves, and then the spacecraft will just simply fall towards that gravity well and will not experience any g forces. So it is theoretically possible, but we need to create that gravity well. If we can, then we can actually achieve, you can say, kind of say, the those incredible speeds. Even maybe in time we can achieve faster than light speed also, because we are not experiencing any g forces. So you are constantly accelerating, without any uh, thing. You can increase that gravity well thousands g's or whatever you want to. want to have. You can just increase that gravity well, and you will not experience any g forces, and you will constantly accelerate. Such a beautiful concept. The space and rocket science is very, very, very interesting if you follow it. The reason why do I follow it, because this is like my kind of, you can say, a passion. It's like a new thing which will come in this decade. This decade is very, 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 very interesting in space flight activities and astronomy. The JWST is launching on Merry Christmas, which is like the most awaited launch of this, I would say, decade. Because it will unravel so many mysteries that we had for our solar system and everything. It's like such a complex instrument. After ISS, if anything complex has been made by humans, that is JWST, James Webb Space Telescope. It is launching on 25th December this time, and hopefully it launches at that time, because I have seen that 10-day forecast, and in 10-day 25 to 5th or you can say 4th January, we all have all thunderstorms. So hopefully JWST launches. You guys, if you like what I am saying, you can just follow me. I mean, subscribe to this channel, because we do this thing whenever we come and do live streams, right? So we make sure that we discuss some interesting, and we can see the events also. No, not just right now. So we make sure that we discuss about some interesting rocket science as and space concepts, which is like mind-boggling, and as well as get to know about, obviously get to know about the launch which is happening. So you can subscribe to my channel, and if you want to support me, you can do that by becoming a Patreon or a member of this channel by clicking on that join button. And for one-time funding, super chat is always there. So it really, really helps. T minus 40 minutes. Everything is looking great, and soon enough we will have the official live stream also, and after that you will actually get some good clear views. Okay, so if you are just joining in, guys, let me tell you that this launcher in front of you is the H-IIA Rocket. It has the capacity of 6 tons to geosynchronous transfer orbit. Currently this is the heaviest configuration uh, from of a rocket from Japan, and this will be launching one satellite to geosynchronous transfer orbit. That is the Inmarsat satellite. This is a satellite services as well as air traffic and the marine traffic control. So this is an important satellite. And talking about this rocket is a two-stage rocket, and a third stage if you can. So two-stage if you don't consider boosters, three-stage if you consider boosters. So there are side boosters as well as the core stage. Side boosters are 4 of them. The core stage is one of them. One engine, and which runs on hydrolox as its fuel on a stage combustion cycle. The second stage is again hydrolox in stage, and that runs on expander bleed cycle. So right now everything is looking green. We had a hold previously, but right now everything is looking green. We are go for the launch. We had some time for, we had like 2 hour launch window, so we are in the launch window when we are launching. And even if we have a hold after if we are not able to launch by t minus 38 minutes or so, then also we are going to have some time for it to resolve anything that comes in place. So yeah, is a thing. Okay, check.
カウントダウンクロックが出てるんですが、今回ないんですよね。多分何度か
These are the live views of the rocket. It's like 12 the 12 30 or 12:02, 12:32. Yeah. So it's like we'll be launching at midnight from Japan, which will be incredible to watch. We had an issue, we had a hold, but we don't know what was the hold all about. But do know that it has been lifted. We are T minus 36 minutes. Everything is looking great, and waiting for the official stream to come. Once we have that, I'll switch over to that. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, you can ask me. And please, guys, if you can support me, you can do that by subscribing to this channel. It really, really helps. The launch timing changed because of some issue which we are not so sure about. Okay, so that is a thing, but we are right now go for the launch. Everything is looking great. Minus 35 minutes until the liftoff, and we are progressing greatly towards the launch. So tomorrow, so there are like a few launches still left in this 2021. So let's hope JWST launch T minus 35 minute. So let's hope JWST launches before 2022 starts, because the weather does not look great. But hopefully that launch window in which we have to launch, that is it, because ooh, that is the indeed the most awaited launch of this decade. So we have few launches. Tomorrow we will have one launch from China. That's classified launch, but hopefully we will get some live stream. I'll try to get some, do the hard work for you, so don't worry about that. And then we have on 24th December, we have the Angara rocket launch. So that is one thing which we need to look and see if that launches the Angara rocket, because we haven't had any live stream of Angara rocket also. If we can have that, that would be great, because Angara rocket also looks amazing when it launches. And then obviously on 25th December, on the Christmas Eve, we have the JWST launch, and then the China just launches and launches again. One of China launch is there. Then OneWeb launch is scheduled on 27th, and then finally one more Chinese launch. So there are like 3 launches in just 1 month on from China. China is literally killing it when it comes to launches, I'm telling you. Literally, right now the most number of launches uh, from any country is from China, and after that it is US, and US is in the race because of the SpaceX. There is no any other company which is actually launching from so frequently. And then there is China in which there is just like one government organization which is just keep on launching and launching and launching, like dude, 47 launches in a year, and like 3 more to come. So they will have like 50 launches in 1 year. Wow, such a great accomplishment from just one organization. And the launch rate is all about success. I mean, if you are launching frequently, that means that your rockets are reliable. First of all, your rockets are being tested much more, and then third is that you are actually doing something in space. That does not, I don't think so. This is like, what you can, the excuse you can have when you are working on some major, then one major mission launched in 1 year and no other launches, then I don't think so that's a good criteria. Because obviously you need to be constantly be launching and launching, whether it be just customer satellites. At least you are doing something in space. We are T minus 30 minutes coming on. is looking great. Let me tell you if I have any other update. The final countdown has started. Great. Everything is looking fine.
さーっていう音が聞こえてるのは現地の場内スピーカーの音です。ロケットは3キロ離れているので、ロケットエンジンに点火するまでは何も聞こえないと思います。肉眼で見るとどんな感じだろう。こんな感じに見えるのかな。
Just waiting for the official live stream to come.
白いところが見えて、黒いところがちょっと背景に馴染んでしまってみたいな。
The Mitsubishi is like, that commercial arm for JAXA, you can say, kind of that Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. It's like, obviously, it's like Mitsubishi Heavy Industry is what manufactures rockets for Japan. So, if there is any commercial launch, Mitsubishi Heavy Industry is allocated to launch that. And if there is any science mission launching, then JAXA is launching. That's how it works in Japan. That's what I have understood. And T minus 30-minute announcement should come now. Will H-IIA carry the loop? Oh, okay, okay. So we have just a sec. I think we have something, and I'll switch over to that. Just a sec, guys. Right now, they are just having good time, I must say. It has come live, so whenever I'll just watch the live views only right now, because it not have any. Yeah, just watch the live views, and if anything, if they come live right now, they have come live, but their webcast is stuck on their wallpaper right now. So whenever that changes, I'll switch over to that. So don't worry. How the fuel wastage is managed in case of a delayed timing? So that's a good question. So see, whenever so yeah, this is a thing which every launch provider has to manage, and that's why they make sure that the fuel is loaded onto the rocket as uh, last as possible, right? Just before the liftoff, like Falcon 9 does. It's like the fuel is loading is completed like T minus 2 minutes before the launch. So this is how this is how they manage. One thing is that this is how they manage. And once other thing which Delta for Heavy does, it loads the fuel way ahead from the before the launch. And the reason why they can do that, because they have that fuel covering, that heat heat shield, that orange heat foam or whatever you want to say, which keeps the temperature stable, and that's why they are able to have that rocket fueled up. But since again those are liquid oxygen, right, and it does not want to stay in that state, so the pressure increases, it vents off some of the fuel. Because of that, they constantly top off. This is a thing which they do in rocket industry: top off the rocket fuel whenever some of the rocket fuel gets vented out in the atmosphere. They again fill it up, kind of, you can say that. So if you to answer your question, how do they manage? They make sure that they fuel the rocket, completely fuel the rocket when it is like when it is about to lift off. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. According to the weather radar, there is no reaction around Tanegashima. Okay, that is good. We are T minus 26 minutes. Everything is looking great. The Hopefully we will see some vents coming out of the rocket, or maybe we'll not, because this is also like Delta 4 heavy only. We don't see much vents coming out of the rocket because of that orange foam also in here. Uh, the Falcon 9 is the only rocket which right now I can remember which went so much, because it does not have any protective coating or blanket onto it, prevent any thermal things there. So it went so much. And if that was the Hydrolox rocket, I mean, I can't imagine what it would do, the Falcon 9 rocket, the venting. It's just the liquid oxygen that is venting in out of from that rocket at that point of time. And when it is Hydrolox engine, then the both hydrogen and the oxygen vents, because both of them does not want to stay in liquid state. So yeah. T minus 25 minutes, everything is looking great. The vehicle is healthy. The weather is looking right now looking green. Hopefully the range must be coordinating. There should not be any wayward boats out in the sea or the ocean. From yeah, this would be from the ocean or the Japan. So yeah. So there you had the T minus 25 minute announcement. So how was your year, guys? So we do have some time, so let's just discuss, rocket science or space or whatever you want to discuss. But let me ask you, how was the year 2021 for you guys? Then I'll tell mine. 2022 coming up, and in 2022 there are so many major events, especially in space flight, that I can't wait to have. Oh, we are looking great on one. So how was your 2021? I would start with mine then. Okay, so for me, uh, it was great initially, because yeah, it was great initially, and then in July or August, uh, it went down because just a sec. Uh, so yes, yeah, it from July August it started went down, and then it went down, and now it has attained like a constant curve. My journey. So it's not so great time. My life 2021 is not so great. Still struggling. Hopefully 2022 has that thing for me. Has that thing for space. So hopefully it has that thing for me too. Uh, hopefully I do that. So So how was your year? Was stressful but glad to catch up with many launches in 2021. That's good. Working hard and enjoying life. Yeah. Uh, that's a thing which you should always do. I saw 2 launches from the Wallops Island in June and the most recent Antares launch in August. That's great. Hopefully I will reach my goals. Which countdown timer is correct? See, right now, uh, nothing is correct. But once we have the official live stream, then okay, we do have one. So I'll switch over to that. Just a second. Then you will see the correct timer.
This software is provided by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and this is a live stream of the launch of H-IIA Flight No.45 launch for Inmarsat-6 F1. Let us begin with a mission overview.
Okay.
Inmarsat-6 F1, the first satellite in Inmarsat-6 series of satellites, Inmarsat-6, is now on the H-IIA Flight No.45. Inmarsat-6 is a sixth-generation communications satellite owned by Inmarsat, which is based in the United Kingdom. This satellite will be launched into a supersynchronous orbit at a perigee altitude of 65,000 kilometers.
I'll update the timer
So,
just a second.
here is a short video that explains the Inmarsat-6 F1 overview.
Imagine for a moment the world of tomorrow. A world of infinite possibilities where ideas and data flow freely. A world where you travel at your convenience. Where products flow seamlessly to wherever they are needed most, from farm to fork, factory to home. All connected through a global network like no other. Enabling businesses to thrive and expand. Creating a safer, greener planet for us all. Where the once impossible is possible. Deliveries by drone, autonomous ships, pilotless planes, all operating even in the most unforgiving environments. And when we need time to get away, we can escape into a world of our own. This is where technology opens the door for an exciting new reality that's not as far away as you may think. At Inmarsat, our innovations and technology are building the world of tomorrow today. Our smart systems and networks lead where others follow. Our roadmap for the future begins today with the launch of I-6 F1.
JAXA never disappoints with those beautiful animations, I must say that.
Today heralds a further evolution of satellite communications and the next generation technologies that are powering global mobility, enabling a better, safer, and more sustainable world for everyone. At Inmarsat, we protect and connect people on land, in the air, and at sea every second of every day. Now, we're opening up new opportunities for emerging and existing industries and potentially creating whole new ones along the way. We do not know what the future holds, but we do know that it will need to be connected, reliably, resiliently, securely, everywhere. Inmarsat can do this today and is simultaneously building the communications platform for tomorrow. As we mark this historic moment, it is crucial to examine why it is so important. Just a cursory glance shows us that our I-6 satellite is unique. It is the largest and most sophisticated commercial communication satellite ever built. It is our first hybrid satellite with advanced payloads that support the world's two most important networks for mobility: government and IoT users, Global Express and llA. In space, the size, orbit, and technology incorporated into a satellite is vitally important when serving customers for whom reliability, flexibility, and security are critical. The I-6 satellite was designed from the outset to meet these demanding specifications. This launch is a global effort bringing together three leading companies: Inmarsat, Airbus, and our launch partner Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, to deliver a new level of satellite communication services unmatched by any other. I-6 will augment the H-llA network with more capabilities than our entire previous I-4 generation of satellites to support our world-leading services into the 2040s and beyond. We know that the demand for connectivity will only continue to rise. The past 2 years have served to demonstrate the fundamental role it now plays for all of us. And our new vision of the future connected world for mobility will be underpinned by the two I-6 payloads for H-llA and Global Express, the core infrastructure for Orchestra. Orchestra will layer multiple technologies and orbits into one harmonious solution to deliver the optimal connectivity our customers need at any given moment, anywhere in the world, from busy ports to the middle of the ocean, from airports to congested flight paths at 30,000 feet. We are a company with momentum and a clear focus on the unique needs of our customers for the long term. This is only possible through our outstanding people and first-class network of partners. I want to pay tribute to the many skilled engineers and scientists that have helped to bring our vision of the connected future to life. Within Inmarsat, I particularly want to call out the exceptional work of our project manager, Edwina Paisley, and her team, working with her Chief Technology Office colleagues under the leadership of Peter Harringer. I also want to thank our colleagues at Airbus, with whom we have worked so closely over the past 6 years to deliver this unique satellite. We have the pleasure of working with our launch partner, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, for the first time. Despite the challenges we have all faced over the past few years, they have displayed the innovative mindset we look for in our partnerships. Domo arigato. This is my first launch, and I am confident that I will look back at this moment as a pivotal point in Inmarsat's growing capabilities as a customer-focused, commercial enterprise, and technology leader in mobility connectivity.
And there you go. We
The
have the
Inmarsat
live views.
F1 is MHI Launch Services' fifth order from an overseas customer, and this is the first time. Please now watch an interview on the reasons why the customer chose the H-IIA Launch Vehicle.
We are honored to have been chosen by Inmarsat, a leader of global mobile satellite communication industry, to provide launch services for the first satellite in the Inmarsat-6 series. And did you notice the logo of this I-6 series printed on our launch vehicle? You can find the figure of spacecraft in that logo. Please find it. The reliability is extremely high, and so that the rate of success of our launch service is reaching 98.1%, provided 47 consecutive success launches delivered on time. Another feature is that the team of serious and hard-working engineers execute.
We actually have some great insights. You can see that.
Machine works exactly as
Wow,
we
see
made
the-
it. So we carefully procure materials, manufacture our rocket components, assemble the stages, observe all data carefully, and repeatedly detect and eliminate abnormal signs. So I believe that maintaining focus and right attitude of doing our best until the just
Hey,
time
thank you
of
so much,
liftoff.
Greg, for that 499. Thanks for covering the launches other than the US countries. Yes, that's what this channel is all about. You will get to see all the launches. You won't miss any of the big launches specifically. So if you are on this channel, make sure, rest assured that you will get to see the launches. And here you can actually see the vents coming out of the rocket now.
Configuration of H-IIA Flight number 45. H-IIA 204 is the configuration used by H-IIA Flight number 45. Because the H-IIA 204 has 4 solid rocket boosters attached, it can provide more thrust than the regular H-IIA 202. The launch vehicle's overall length is 53 meters, and its weight without the satellite is 442 tons. The H-IIA is Japan's flagship launch vehicle, equipped with world-class technologies and economics and offering a launch success rate of 97.7%. Following that, we will discuss the status of Inmarsat-6 F1 preparations.
Exactly. Mitsubishi actually has its very interesting, those pre-launch these things. So you just enjoy this thing first of all. Hey, thank you so much for that 91. That's what it is, I guess, in Japanese currency. Okay, thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it. But I don't think so I can play this music out here. But right now what you are saying is, let me just do the commentary. This is the Airbus, which means the satellite is there on it. And here you can see it is going to this vehicle assembly building, or wherever it is assembled, Tanegashima Space Center. That's where it is assembled. So it is going on to the building, and now it will be opened up.
One satellite at the Space Center, the functions of the satellite were checked and tested. It was then fitted to the payload attach fitting and encased within the payload fairing. Finally, the fairing was transported into the Vehicle Assembly Building, VAB, and installed on the H-IIA Launch Vehicle. After completing the final launch preparations in the Vehicle Assembly Building early this morning, H-IIA Flight number 45 was moved to the launch pad, approximately 480 meters away, this morning, and the vehicle's fuel loading and final check were performed at the launch pad. H-IIA is currently preparing for the countdown.
One thing you have to note here, that everything is robotic right now. The voice which you are hearing is robotic, but I'm trying my best to get you the thing. This is the live views. You can actually see those little vent coming out of the rocket. It's not like Falcon 9, but it should have been more than Falcon 9, but that is not the case, and the simple reason is that foam covering, which is a thermal blanket out there.
Finally,
so yeah,
the H-IIA flight sequence will be introduced. Furthermore, the time for each event is a scheduled time, and real flying time may differ slightly. The H-IIA Flight number 45, placed atop the Inmarsat-6 F1, will fly over the Pacific Ocean.
trying to go
After
to
about 1 minute and 48 seconds, the 4 solid rocket boosters, SRBA, will have completed combustion, and the 2 sets of SRBA will be split into 2 steps. Following that, H-IIA will continue to accelerate its exit from the atmosphere for about 3 minutes and 40 seconds after launch, when the payload fairing encasing the Inmarsat-6 F1 will be detached. The first stage engine will complete its combustion in 6 minutes 38 seconds after the launch. The first and second stages of H-IIA are separated 8 seconds later, and the combustion of the second stage engine starts. Finally, about 26 minutes and 20 seconds after the launch, The Inmarsat-6 F1 will be separated at an altitude of 322 kilometers into the intended orbit.
That's great. There we go, live views. So
the liftoff is now a few minutes away. Please watch the live stream of the launch of H-IIA Flight No. 45 from Tanegashima Space Center.
okay, so guys, we are T-minus 6 minutes until the launch. Everything is looking great. Mission control is there. Everything is looking great. The vehicle is standing on the pad. The weather is green. The range is green. T-minus 6 minutes.
気温摂氏 13.3 度、北北西の風、毎秒 5.1 メートルです。H-IIA ロケット45号機の打ち上げに問題はありません。It's 6 minutes to launch. The current weather here at the launch site is clear. Temperature is 13.3 degrees Celsius. Wind is 5.1 meters per second from the north-northwest.
It is great.
The weather has no constraints for launch.
Yes.
本日の打ち上げ予定時刻は日本時間の午前0時32分00秒です。Today's scheduled lift time is 12:32:00 a.m. Japan Standard Time.
So guys, we are T-minus 5 minutes until the launch. Everything is looking great. The video feed is looking great. Such a good camera this one will be. We can see those vents coming out of the rocket. The payload is the Inmarsat satellite, which is a communication satellite going to a geosynchronous transfer orbit. So that orbit has a very high apogee but a very low perigee. Apogee will be around 36,000 kilometers and the perigee will be around, you can say, 300 to 500 kilometers. So this is a geosynchronous transfer orbit, and this will be going to that orbit, and after that from geosynchronous transfer orbit it will go to geosynchronous orbit. Currently there is no problem. Yes, the H-IIA is working fine. We are T-minus 4 minutes until the launch. The vehicle is good. See those views. Oh my god, this is so cool. Those vents are looking great. We can actually see those vent placement here. Wow, man, this is a very beautiful rocket, I must say that. And T-minus 4 minutes. Weather is green, range is green, rocket is green, and we are just waiting for this beautiful, beautiful rocket to go up into the sky and beyond, and finally to its intended orbit. T-minus 3 minutes, 43 seconds. Currently there are no issues. Okay, so if you are just joining in, let me just tell you this H-IIA rocket has 4 solid for 204 configuration, 4 SRBs, white SRBs. These jettison after some time. Then it has one core stage and it has one second stage. Core stage runs on LE7A engine, which runs on stage combustion cycle and has hydrolox, hydrogen and oxygen as its fuel. The second stage is a LE5 engine which runs on expander bleed cycle, and it also has hydrogen and liquid oxygen as its fuel. So this is a 2-stage rocket if you don't consider the SRBs as one of the stage. Yes, this rocket is what?
Systems.
Okay, the internal system power is on now, and this rocket is what you made in Kerbal Space Program. Indeed it is, and this rocket indeed is a very Kerbalish rocket. The H-IIA rocket configurations, if you look onto them, the 2204 and all those things, they just strap on the boosters. There are the main boosters, which are this one which you are right now seeing, and there are one strap-on boosters also, which are thin boosters. So according to the requirement, they change the SRB. So it's like when you want to have more payload capacity, attach more boosters. That's how you work in KSP2. T-minus 2 minutes, guys. Okay, it is happening.
一段液体水素系準備完了。We have completed the precipitation of the liquid hydrogen system of the H-IIA's first stage.
So as I said, the liquid oxygen, the hydrolocks, and you can see the vents are closed. The top off has been completed. The fueling has been completed. We are T minus 1 minute and 30 seconds until the liftoff. Everything is looking good, and I am so excited for this thing to go up. Guys, where are you watching this launch from? Just type in the chat.
準備完了
Followed by pressurization of the liquid oxygen hydrogen system at the second stage and we are now complete.
トーチ点火
We have 19 torch to push excess hydrogen.
フレームデフレクター冷却開始
You will actually see the ROFIs in actions too. That hydrogen bomb, and it is actually working right now. The ROFIs are in working, getting rid of any excess hydrogen. US and everything. Okay, T minus 48 seconds. Enjoy the launch.
ウォーターカーテン散水開始
At the launch deck, the
T minus
suppression
30
water system
seconds.
has been activated.
T minus 20, 90, 18, 17,
フライ
16,
トモードオン
15, 14, 13, 12, 11.
全システム準備完了
All systems are go.
駆動用電池起動
4,
Activating the timer
3,
batteries.
2, 1.
シャル BA 点
Ignition!
火リフトオフ
Whoa!
Ignition and liftoff.
H-IIA ロケット45号機は2021年12月23日午前0時32分00秒に
This is
種
so
子島宇宙
cool.
センターから打ち上げられました
We have a liftoff of the H-IIA Launch Vehicle No. 45 from the JAXA Tanegashima Space Center at 12:32:00 a.m. on
This
December
has to be
24,
one of the most
2021
beautiful launches that I have seen.
打ち上
Wow.
げ以降ロケットの管制は吉信発射管制塔から竹崎総合司令塔に引き継がれています
Following liftoff, the operation control of the launch vehicle has been switched from the blockhouse to the range control center.
Everything is looking great, guys. The next event must be Max Q, which it must be passing through right now. And everything is looking great. We can see it in the clouds also. The first thing which you will see is the jettisoning of the SRBs.
About Pacific Ocean to the east-southeast.
打ち上げ後1分が経過しました
It's 1 minute into flight.
The next event coming up is the jettisoning of the SRBs. 1 minute and 40 seconds or
ロ
so.
ケットは正常に飛行中地上局のロケット追尾状況も正常
The H-IIA flight is on course and the ground stations are tracking the launch vehicle very well.
Everything is looking nominal. All systems are green. Now the next event is the SRB jettison, which you will see anytime now.
110、11、12、13、14、
SRBA 燃焼終了
The SRBs have burned out.
SRB jettison is confirmed. That is great. We didn't see that beautiful SRB jettison thing which we see in Russian launches.
SRBA 第
That's
1ペア第
okay.
2ペア分離
Separation of the first and second pairs of SRBAs.
There you
小
go.
笠原局でのロケット追尾が開始されました
The Gasar station has started tracking the launch vehicle.
And that's the thing which we want to see. Okay. So 2.1 kilometers per second, 109 kilometers, 110 kilometers, the altitude, everything is looking great. It indeed is a beautiful, beautiful rocket. I must say that. I don't know if we'll see this screen only or the onboard camera, which we should have seen that. But right now the SRBs have separated. The next event is the Miko, which you will see. Or if I can get some good views out of another stream, then I'll switch over to that. Just a sec. Let me on those. Yes. Okay. It was amazing actually. Wait a sec. Let me just get to the rocket views. Yeah. Switch over to that. Just a second. There you go. So right now the main engine cutoff will happen, has happened already, will happen at t minus 2 minutes and 24 seconds. We can see the rocket is still working. The main engine is working right now. The SRB has already jettisoned. So and as I said, this is a hydrolox engine. So uh, the main the core stage will burn for a little longer than expected, which is you can see right now in front of you. So everything is looking great. Vehicle is performing as expected. The main engine is working fine. You can see right now everything is looking great. I actually hoped that we must have some onboard camera footage, but I guess that is not the case. So uh,
Flight is on course. Current altitude is about 208 kilometers. Velocity is approximately 4 kilometers per second.
so and we have the main engine cut off right now. Extinguisher on the pad. Yes, we have some fire. So right now this okay. So second engine start has begun. So second engine is working right now. Yes, that is fire on the pad, which was not supposed to happen, but those fire is like very common also in case of Japan, because it is located near the forest area. So this thing tend to happen, but they have those fire suppression system in place, so no worries. I guess this is just the plants and forest area which is burning right now, I guess. So yeah. that fire is not looking good,
は
but
い、
it's
という
okay.
感じでございました。車上の方、多分これですね、車上の向こう側にある丘の草が燃えてるんじゃないでしょうかね。発射台が燃えてるとかそういうことではないと思います。で、発射台の方は燃えないように今、盛大に発射台も放水してますね、今ね。この風景は初めて見ました。はい、視界物。
This okay, so let me tell you this, how these fire things work. So first of all, the fire separation system is in place, doing its work to
分
uh,
離のアナウンスがあるまではちょっと配信をしようかなと思います。
to suppress.
It's 9 minutes into flight.
Okay, so second stage engine is performing nominally, and this
正常です。現在の高度は約 290km、秒速約 6.5km です。Version of the second stage engine, actual control and trajectory are all nominal. The H-IIA flight is on course. Height altitude is about 290 kilometers. Velocity is approximately 2.5 kilometers per second.
okay, so everything is looking great.
そうですね。少し前まで、その奥の斜面の、
Water is being sprayed to suppress it. Okay, let me just get you the stats on the screen so that you can actually have a good understanding in what is going in.
何
Just a
か他に映
second.
すものがあれば映すんですけども、あまりこれ。
ロケットは種子島内之浦地上局の捕捉範囲を離れ、小笠原局から追尾されています。The launch vehicle has flown beyond the ranges of the Tanegashima and Uchinara ground stations, and now the Obasara station is tracking the launch vehicle.
Just a second, guys. Let me have those things for
ちょっ
you.
と気が早いかもしれませんが、打ち上げ後の記者会見も一応配信する予定です。打ち上げ後の、約120分後にという予定ではありましたが、今回ちょっと、ホールドするトラブルがあったので、もしかすると、会見の開始時間が遅れるかもしれません。今日ね、そうなんですよね。ここに入れるのは6時までなので、それまでに会見が始まれば、
2段エンジン第1回燃焼停止。The second stage engine cut off.
中継したいなと思います。
Second stage engine cut off is there, and there you go, the stats on your screen. So talking about that fire, the fire is quite common with JAXA launches, and that's why to suppress that they do some initial things also before launching. What they do is they spray those water suppressors are actually there, and water sprayers are actually there, which is actually spraying water on all the plants and flora out there near the pad, so that it does not catch on fire. And but sometime it does catch things on fire, which is in this case. So therefore they try to suppress it, which you can see in front of.
もしかするとその打ち上げが
局がロケット追尾を終了しました。Has proceeded beyond the tracking range of the Obasara station.
So right
現在、地上局の追尾範囲を離れて飛行中です。Currently, the launch vehicle is flying out of the tracking area. 次にロケットが確認されるのは打ち上げから約20分後になる見込みです。The launch vehicle will be back in the range approximately 20 minutes into flight.
Okay. There is So right now the second stage is coasting. For the second stage ignition 2, everything is looking great, but not the fire, right?
発射台の散水が終わりましたね。
There are some things which are going on there. Let me just go to that just a sec. So I guess the guys that should sum up for why wow, see the satellite, it does look great indeed, right? It was a very weird launch. Must say that. I mean, the launch was spectacular. That is like I'm not saying that the launch was indeed spectacular. I haven't seen such a beautiful launch. This is like one of those beautiful launches that I have, the list which I have for beautiful launches. This is in one of them. And no video from the rocket. Right now, the rocket is out of the tracking area. It is still coasting. And we are still, there is like still second engine start 1, which is second engine start 2, which is left, which will actually raise the apoapse of the orbit to 36,000 kilometers. So right now it is in the parking orbit, and after that, for the second engine start 2 will make sure that the apoapse is raised to 36,000 kilometers. The thing which you are seeing in front of you right now is how the everything is tested for a satellite, right? Those are the this is a clean room where everything is you can actually have a look at the scale of this satellite also. I mean, the humans are there. There is like one obviously one propulsion system in place. Satellite is indeed very much complex. You can say that it has like one a boom also, umbrella kind of a thing, which is used for communication. The grass was dead. You can say that indeed the grass was dead, but again everything went smoothly for this launch. Although I expected some beautiful onboard camera footage, that was what we get for JAXA launches. I mean, for Mitsubishi also launches, we used to get those onboard camera views. I remember that the Hope Mars mission, which was launched by JAXA, we had beautiful onboard camera views as well as the liftoff views. But here we didn't get one, so yeah. But indeed, the launch, the liftoff was so spectacular. I must say that, right? So yeah, I think that should sum up everything for this launch, because I don't think so we'll get any onboard footage of how the things will look like, so it does not uh, make any sense to it. But again, guys, tomorrow we have a launch from China, which is again a rare opportunity to see the launch, because China does not live stream the launches, and this is a launch which is like a classified one, top secret mission, which we have no clue about. The public does not know anything about that launch, so it would be very interesting to see that rocket lifting off from the pad. Obviously, we won't be getting any official live stream, so I'll have to dig up some sources of my own to get any live stream if possible. But we have high chances that we will get the live stream tomorrow. So did you like the stream, guys? I did my best to make you understand everything that you need to know about this launch, as well as some great rocket science and space stuff, the gravity well discussion, all those things.
Innovations happening all around us. Innovation for
Yes, the grass was on fire. Now the thing, the fire separation system uh,
to innovate, advantage the new
was
technology,
activated, and now everything is
and
under
deliver that in a
control.
way that
So
makes a meaningful difference to
no
our
issue with that.
customers is
So
fundamental.
this was
I
the
think we need
last
to see
launch
the future,
of
believe it.
JAXA for this year. Next year we should be expecting some more. Yeah, these are the okay. So fire is still there, I guess. The it will be back into the range approximately flight, which is like all get to see a successful and a clean launch. Yes, it indeed was. The next launch tomorrow will be top secret launch from China, the Long March 7A rocket. There are some modifications on the rocket as well for this launch, so you don't need to worry about the things that is associated with the launch. I will be there talking about all the stuff that you need to know. So if you haven't subscribed my channel till now, you can do that. I do live streams of all the launches. You miss some of the launches because of the geographical region and all those things, but I make sure I do all of them. It indeed is a pain when the time zone does not match your own local time. Sometimes like 4 a.m, sometimes the times 10 p.m, a 24-hour busy schedule whenever the launch happens. So if you liked what I did and if you want to support me, you can become a subscriber as well as a member of this channel by clicking on the join button or a Patreon. We have like multiple perks in there too. So we'll have to wait for this thing to come into range, I guess. Now we having some data. Let's the fire is still there, I guess. The suppression system is still on you go, but that is not the case. Fire should suppressed. It should not be much harder. JAXA knows about these things. They have this launch facility in vicinity of the forest area or the plantation, everything. Yeah, that happens. And you must be wondering that they should just cut all those and everything, but those trees and those flora actually helps the launch pad because it absorbs the vibrations of the launcher when it lifts off, so it works as a sound suppression system kind of, you say. So it indeed is of importance, and that's why they are not cutting those things. So the launcher is right now having 7.3 kilometers per second of velocity and 250 kilometers of altitude.
ロケットは現在クリスマス局から追尾されています。第2段エンジン第2回燃焼終了後、Inmarsat-6 F1 を分離します。The Christmas station is now tracking the launch vehicle. After the second stage engine cutoff, Inmarsat-6 F1 will be separated. 第2段エンジンの燃焼は正常、制御系飛行経路も正常であり、ロケットは現在安定して飛行中。
So the second
現
stage
在の高度は約
has
250
started again.
秒速約
The second stage is burning now, and it should burn for around 3 minutes. Okay, everything is nominal.
on course. Current altitude is about 250 kilometers. Velocity is approximately 7.8 kilometers per second.
You can see the velocity is increasing, so the second stage is still burning and getting the apoapse to 36,000 kilometers. So it will burn for around 2 minutes and 30 seconds more, and after that it will cut off, and you will hopefully get to see the payload separation at least. So let's see what they have done. the velocity is increasing as the rocket is doing its work. Yeah, rocket is flying stably, and you must be okay. One thing, have you noticed that the speed is increasing, but again, okay, now it is the altitude is increasing. The speed was increasing, but again the altitude was decreasing. You have noticed before it was decreasing before, and now it is increasing again, but it was decreasing even if the speed was increasing. Why was that? Because it was actually going near the perigee, and now it has perigee is like the lowest point in the orbit, and now it has reached that perigee location, and so now it is climbing up. So it's not like, when you speed up you will get a higher higher altitude. That is not how the orbital mechanics work. Obviously, when you speed up you get to make something higher, okay, like as in this case the apoapsis increasing in altitude, but at that position in which you are right now, that will not the altitude of that will not change, or will not increase or will not decrease as per your thinking. The orbital mechanics plays a very good role here, and this is very beautiful thing about orbital mechanics, that it does not work in the way we perceive it works. It's like a totally a different thing. When you want to slow, when you want if you are in the orbit and you want to go towards the earth, you don't burn your engine towards the earth, which means like you don't point your rockets towards the earth and then burn your engine. That's not how it works. You actually burn retrograde, in which you actually try to reduce your speed so that you fall towards the earth. All the vector addition, because you are actually, if you know vector addition in velocity, the velocity is in the x-axis. Okay, the second stage engine has been cut off now. Now we are waiting for the satellite separation. So the velocity is in the horizontal direction initially, which is when you don't want to fall towards the earth, and then if you just point your engine towards the earth and then try to increase the vertical velocity too, then the vector addition will say that you will get to like 45-degree angle if you are your engine is much powerful. Then I mean, it's like a vector addition thing. It could be better understood when I'll draw the things. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is the orbital mechanics does not work as the way you perceive, and
Inmarsat-6 F1 separation.
we have the separation of the Inmarsat satellite. So this is the mission control room, which we got to see briefly. Had a 4:3 camera.
The
Okay.
Inmarsat-6 F1 satellite has been successfully transported to its intended orbit. For further information, please see the MHI website and a press conference.
Okay, so we had a successful separation of the satellites, which means the mission is indeed successful. So we didn't get to see the onboard views and all that, but we actually had the successful separation, and that's what we want.
Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is now working as a prime company in Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAXA's development of the H-3 launch vehicle. It supports a wide range of functions as Japan's new flagship launch vehicle for customers in the space sector, and is the driving force behind the development of launch services all across the world. That would be H-3.
Yes, the
In
H-3.
December 2018, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries agreed with Inmarsat to launch a satellite with the new mainstay launch vehicle H-3. This is the sixth service to be launched for international clients, following the previous 5 on H-IIA. Inmarsat will be the first overseas customer of the H-3 launch service. We believe that H-3 represents a world-class innovation and one that will provide an effective and efficient service to future Inmarsat satellites into orbit, noted Rupert Pierce, CEO of Inmarsat in 2018.
Okay, so let's have a look at the replay of the rocket launch so that we can actually just a sec. Go. That we can actually get a replay of the vehicle and then we can get off this stream. Hopefully we'll get the replay here. So yes, the launch was successful. They were talking about the H-3 launch vehicle, which is like their next rocket, which is under development right now. But yeah, this is like the frame by frame what they have. Okay, not the frame by frame. The recap of this launch, which was very spectacular indeed when it lifted off from the pad. Whoa. And just after, okay, not just after the liftoff, started pitching over. This indeed was a very spectacular launch. Those 4 SRBs burning with the 4 stage.
The H-IIA is now going above Pacific Ocean to the east-southeast. 打ち上げ後1分が経過しました。It's 1 minute into flight. 80、81、82、ロケットは正常に飛行中。地上客の録画ツール状況の正常。87、88、89、Stations are tracking launch vehicle very well.
SRB jettison actually was not able to, they did not capture, I guess, any of the cameras because the SRB was jettisoned way after they depleted their fuel. Sometimes rocket do that, they carry the dead weight along with it because of the weather conditions. If it is like under the thick part of the atmosphere, they don't jettison it because it will cause and there you go, I guess we did see something. So after that, this is also done by the Atlas 5 also. It takes that dead weight of the SRB when it has got depleted of its fuel for a certain time and then jettison because the weather condition, or you can say the atmospheric condition, are much stable there. Okay guys, I think that should be it. And how was the launch? For me, it was one of these spectacular launches, the magnificent or the beautiful launches that I have ever seen. And yeah, for 2021, I would say for spectacular launches, this would be one of them. You can say the top 5 spectacular launches that I have ever witnessed in 2021. It would be one of them. This would be one of them. Okay, So tomorrow we have the Chinese launch, and hopefully I'll be able to get some sources out there to get some information or the web cameras for you to see the stream. And hopefully you enjoyed this launch stream. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you all for joining in. And this is like a recap, I think, which you are seeing. It's not the live feed. So thank you all for joining in. On this channel, we do live streams of the launches with all the information that you need to know about the launch. So whenever you have a weird launch, was like a reverse video, right? Whenever you have like a weird launch, this does not get old. Whenever you have a weird launch where you want to get to know about that launch, or whenever you want to know about a certain launch, you just can on this channel. Here you will get everything you need to know about that launch. So thank you all for tuning in. It was a great stream. Thank you all. Thank you all the moderators, and all the people who were there in the chat, and people who were just seeing this live stream. Thank you all for becoming you all for having me and being such a great audience. So until then, I will see you tomorrow. Until then, this is Priyanshu Roila. You just saw Rocket Gyan. Stay safe, stay healthy, and